Is Sony's first R-rated superhero flick on track to break records? Yes, but not in a good way. Here's why we think Kraven the Hunter is destined for a lackluster box office performance.
Tell me about this hunter.
At this point, Sony's Marvel Spider-Man universe hasn't proven to be a worthy challenger of the official MCU. The first 3 Venom films were okay, but only generated moderate profits and so-so reviews.
Have a nice life.
Morbius didn't totally bomb in theaters, but essentially became the easiest way to make fun of Jared Leto, even after his disastrous portrayal of the Joker. Not sure how that even happened.
What did you do to yourself, Doctor? Make us understand.
I wish I knew.
And Madam Web was so baffling that you really just had to see it to believe it.
Okay, let's not mention that to anybody.
Now, as the release of Kraven the Hunter draws near, box office projections are spelling disaster for its opening weekend, and we're not exaggerating. According to Box Office Pro, it's predicted that the film will only make somewhere between $20 to $25 million throughout its first 3 days on the big screen. Keep in mind that this would be significantly less than Morbius, which peaked at $39 million during its opening weekend in the US. It would even be less than Madam Web, which earned just a little less than $26 million. This means that Kraven could be on track to end up as one of the lowest earning Marvel movies in history. Why is the outlook so abysmal? Well, as we just mentioned, there's a precedent that's already been set by the previous films in Sony's Marvel Spider-Man universe. Audiences have yet to be truly wowed by anything that Sony has put forth so far, so why should they expect a sudden change now? It certainly looks like Kraven is following the same template used in previous Sony installments. The villain is more or less the hero of the story. Certain aspects of Kraven's backstory and overall character have been altered, and Spider-Man isn't set to make an appearance. None of this worked particularly well in the previous films, and yet it's what we're going to get anyway. Not only are people over this sort of letdown, but they're over how easy it is to tell that something is going to be a letdown before they even see it. All of that being said, it's definitely possible that Kraven the Hunter subverts our expectations and starts to steer Sony in the right direction. It does have a few things going for it after all. For one, Aaron Taylor Johnson looks to be a solid choice for Kraven. Just like Tom Hardy was the saving grace for the Venom movies, Johnson could be the glue that holds everything together this time around. There's also the fact it's R-rated. As we all know, R-rated superhero movies have a pretty good track record when it comes to both box office numbers and critical reviews, with Deadpool and Wolverine being the most recent example.
Let's go.
Yes, Joker Folie à Deux was an abomination, but come on, it's a musical. A jukebox musical at that. It was essentially destined to fail. Another saving grace for Kraven, at least for its performance at the box office, is a competition it will have in theaters, which isn't much. The only other major movie that drops at the same time is The Lord of the Rings: The War of Rohirrim, an animated feature that hasn't been hyped up much whatsoever. With no other more appealing live-action juggernaut to challenge its supremacy, it's very possible that Kraven will perform better than expected, even if for no other reason than audiences had nothing better to do at the time. In the end though, these are just predictions. We'll just have to wait for its December 13th release date to see how Kraven stacks up in comparison to its less than marvelous predecessors. As always here at Looper, we're hoping for an upset that blows our minds and reinvigorates our undying love for superhero flicks.